Good evening, and welcome to this edition of Labor Vision. I'm Bob Delaney, Executive Director of the Institute for Labor Studies and Research. Labor Vision, a production of the Institute, focuses on topics of importance and interest to working Rhode Islanders. We hope you enjoy this evening's edition.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. What about an introduction like that? Apparently, Water Place Park is now home to cruise ships. If we could ask you all one favor before we start, if you could just make your way down a little bit, sort of fill in the areas here. We'd love to be able to get everybody together. We'll give you a couple moments for that, then we'll start our presentation. Come on right down to the first row, I promise. They're no more expensive than the seats in back. You actually get to see the show first, the closer you are to the podium. Well, good afternoon, everyone. How is everybody today? Oh, come on now. We're not playing golf here today. How's everybody doing? That's better. Let me see some signs, please. Let's see those signs. You guys are a good audience. You get to stay. A special shout out to Joe Barrows and the Teamsters providing the sound effects in the background. Mother Nature has been very kind to us today. Hopefully you're all wearing your sunblock. It's a day like today that was the inspiration for Dell's Lemonade. And I promise you, close your eyes for a minute, sit back. Doesn't it feel like being on Second Beach in Middletown in the middle of July? How about this weather? Well, officially, good afternoon. My name is Craig Skoulos. I'm the Vice President and General Manager for Twin River. I've been proud and privileged to be associated with this facility for the past 16 years, a facility that has become part of the fabric of Rhode Island since the 1940s. The property was actually built shortly after World War II came to an end, and it's been going on ever since. Property has always sat at this intersection of jobs and economic development and revenue for the state, as well as entertainment. And over the years, there has been this incredible changeover in the facility, a dynamic change. It's all been about a reformation, a restoration, a rejuvenation, a transformation, and a revitalization. We are now the third largest source of revenue for the state of Rhode Island. You can clap for that. Twin River has become an indelible landmark on the landscape of northern Rhode Island, and it's also become part of the tapestry that is the Ocean State. But we're not here today just to talk about Twin River. We're talking about jobs, creating and preserving jobs, sustaining and enhancing revenue. It's about moving ahead, not standing still. It's about maximizing an asset, which is Twin River, to its absolute full, complete potential. It's all about you, the residents and taxpayers of Rhode Island. This is about you. It's about us. It's about jobs and jobs and jobs and revenue. It's about the future, and it's about all things Rhode Island. from Woonsocket to Westerly, from Cumberland to Coventry. Every one of the 39 towns and cities in Rhode Island, it's about Rhode Island. It's about bringing jobs to Rhode Island. It's about bringing a lot of good-paying jobs to a state that could really use it. We have a lot of speakers here today, or several speakers here today, that will frame this up very nicely for you. We've come together with an amazing, amazing, amazing coalition. Business leaders, leaders from organized labor, community leaders, all coming together to support this very important initiative. But before we get to them, I have a question for you. We all know Rhode Island is the smallest state in the Union. That's our geography lesson for today. But we know we live large. We know we're proud. My question to you, can you be loud? Let's hear it. Apparently, this is being broadcast on ESPN, and the Teamsters can hear us. I don't know, John, if we're paying them per honk or something, but this is working very well. Again, today is about jobs, and we're so proud to be here. Most importantly, we're so proud to have you. What a great turnout. It's the start of school vacation. It's beautiful weather. There's a lot of things that we could all be doing today, but you've all chosen to come here. And for that, you deserve to give yourselves a nice round of applause. Our introductory speaker, John Taylor, serves as the chairman for the Twin River Board of Directors. As chairman, John oversees all aspects of government relations and public policy. He is a man with years and years of experience in the gaming industry, holding previous positions as president and CEO of GameLogic, vice president for GTech, and president and CEO of Dreamport, Inc. More importantly, today, John serves as the backbone and the engine of the campaign to bring jobs to Rhode Island. You can clap. He is the driving force that will propel bringing jobs to Rhode Island forward to victory in November with the table game referendum. I'm just going to go off the script here for 1 second before I turn it over to John. I think there's something that you need to know. John is authentic Rhode Island. He was born in Pawtucket, coming back to us at Twin River as a sort of a homecoming of sorts. He has a keen and genuine interest in promoting not only Twin River, but all things that are Rhode Island. And for that, we owe him a big thanks. So without further ado, the chairman of the board, I give to you, Mr. John Taylor.
Wow. How do you follow Craig Skoulos? Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us on this festive but important day. In the 1980s, the city of Providence used considerable resources to move this river to bring new life and jobs back into the capital city, and in doing so, for Rhode Island. What became known as the Providence Renaissance started with the simple idea that we as a state needed to reconfigure our offerings to be more competitive, to attract diversified and more plentiful commerce, and to take further advantage of our natural beauty to become even more of a tourist destination. Leveraging the existing assets of downtown Providence, our state's leaders created the beautiful destination that is enjoyed by hundreds of thousands every year and that we enjoy today. We're here to ask you to begin a new chapter in Rhode Island's history by breathing new life and jobs into another existing asset in Rhode Island institution. We're asking you to support the reconfiguration of Twin River by bringing table games into our product mix. Doing so will preserve and add hundreds of well-paying, mostly union jobs, preserve hundreds of millions in annual tax revenue to the state of Rhode Island, and even generate new revenue. More revenue to allow for the continuation of important state and social programs, and more revenue to allow for grand visions, such as the moving of rivers. We've learned time and time again that remaining stagnant doesn't work. The beauty of this venue is a testament to the vision of many who knew too well that standing still in the long run would not serve the state well. Bold visions, bold decisions, and bold actions more often than not propel us forward. We're asking you on November 6th to take another bold leap forward with us. Because if we do nothing, if we allow Massachusetts to welcome full gaming, which it's poised to do in some short 3 years, if we allow our residents to continue to drive through state borders to Connecticut for a more complete gaming experience, we will lose. We will lose existing jobs unquestionably. We will lose the opportunity to create new ones. And the state will slowly but surely dramatically lose its annual revenue from gaming at Twin River on the order of approximately $100 million every year. Our standing on the shores of the Woonasquatucket River in downtown Providence today is symbolic of the fact that the table game referendum isn't just about Twin River or the town of Lincoln, but about the entire state. For that reason, the campaign which we start today will endeavor to reach Rhode Islanders of all walks of life from each of our 39 cities and towns. Twin River already touches the lives of many across this state. All of you gathered here with us this afternoon, friends, colleagues, supporters, members of the public, are a reflection of that fact. Today, in addition to the $270 million that we generate for the state each year, Twin River creates $160 million in economic impact to the state's economy. Currently, 5.7 million people walk through our doors annually, both residents and tourists combined. Clearly, we are an important asset to the state of Rhode Island, a real institution, Rhode Island institution dating back to the 1940s. In addition to the 900 jobs we've created at Twin River, an estimated 1,700 direct and indirect jobs have been created by ongoing operations at the property. It's not surprising that so many of you have chosen to join us today. This measure will have enormous benefits. Table games at Twin River will preserve existing jobs and create 650 new, well-paying jobs. Table games will generate a minimum additional $16.2 million in new tax revenue. Most important, approval of table game legislation will allow us to more effectively level the playing field and better compete in an increasingly competitive marketplace. When we talk about jobs and the economic impact of Twin River, we're talking about impacting a whole lot of Rhode Islanders. We're talking about you, your family, your neighbors, and your friends. We're talking about Tracy from North Providence, who started with us as a teenager working as a part-time cashier over 20 years ago. Since that time, she's rose through the ranks and now is a key manager in our gaming division. Along the way, she met her future husband, Gary, who is our slots director and has worked for us for more than 25 years. Together, they have built a full life in a state they love while saving for an equally vibrant retirement. We're talking about Rhode Islanders like Norm of Cranston, a member of the Teamsters Local 251, who has worked at Twin River for 15 years in our facilities department, and who, along with his wife, Ann, purchased their home and put their daughter through college. As an aside, for those of you who may not know Norm, know that he lives up to the reputation of the most famous Norm in New England from Cheers, who always has a knack for brightenings everyone's day. And we're talking about Joe from Lincoln, who began his career at Twin River as a dishwasher some 15 years ago. He rose to the position of cook and then left to perform military service to our country, only to return as the general manager of the Wicked Good Bar and Grill, our largest eatery. Joe is a man dedicated to his family and to his country, and is well-liked and successful employee who has truly risen through the ranks. And let's not forget that the impact of Twin River extends well beyond our facility and our employees in Lincoln. We work with over 165 Rhode Island businesses, Businesses like Dupuy Oil, a company from my hometown of Pawtucket with 30 employees. Owner Mark Dupuy and his family have done business with Twin River for 3 generations. We're talking about businesses like Ryan Electric of Warwick. Every day they provide us with 6 on-site electricians rotating through our 24/7 operations. All are members of the IBEW. In fact, Larry Ryan, who is here somewhere, has worked with us for more than 40 years. His previous company, the predecessor of Ryan Electric, did the wiring of the original Lincoln Downs back in the 1940s. And we're talking about McLaughlin and Moran, one of Rhode Island's better-known family-owned companies that has been in existence since 1936 and who has been a proud supplier of Twin River for decades. Interestingly, the company was founded a few short miles from Twin River. The list goes on, but the point of these stories is that Twin River is an asset that positively impacts Rhode Islanders from all walks of life. While unemployment remains at over 10%, it's an existing asset that we have a rare and timely opportunity to further leverage, to create critically needed jobs, and to bring an additional $60 million in economic impact to the Rhode Island economy, which so desperately needs it. It's in that spirit that we announced today our campaign to bring jobs to Rhode Island. It's a conversation we'll have in face-to-face meetings, in town hall style public forums, and in other civic or business sessions we may be invited to. It's a dialogue we'll have with the voters using our new website, winri2012.com, and through a host of social media channels. And it's a discussion we'll take to the Rhode Island radio and TV airwaves, as well as community and statewide newspapers. To help us tell this story, and because it's a critical conversation, we also announced today the Coalition to Bring Jobs to Rhode Island, which is comprised of some of the state's most prominent business, civic, community, and union leaders. Some of our members are here with us today, including our next 3 speakers, Lori White, the president of the Greater Providence Chamber of Commerce, George Nee, the president of the Rhode Island AFL-CIO, and John Gregory, the chairman of the Twin River Advisory Committee and president of the Northern Rhode Island Chamber of Commerce. In addition, I'd also like to recognize other members of the coalition that are joining us today, including Joe Barros, the Secretary-Treasurer, Principal Executive of the Teamsters Local 251. Terry Moran, the President of McLaughlin and Moran. Bob Nickerson, the President of Stone Tower Properties. Peter Ottmar, the Chairman of Tubolt, the Division of Mercury. John Palumbo, the Chairman of the Providence War Convention and Visitors Bureau, and also the President of Rhode Island Monthly Magazine. Michael Sabatoni, the President of the Rhode Island Building and Trades Council. My former colleague from GTEC, Donald Schweitzer, who's the chairman of GTEC Corporation. Paula Twidell, the executive vice president of Colette Vacations. Thank you all for joining us today. So in closing, we hope in the weeks and months to come, all of you here will help tell our story to your neighbors, friends, and family. We hope you'll encourage them to move forward, not remain stagnant. Tell them that you support the preservation of existing jobs and the creation of new ones. Tell them that you support the protection of critical state revenue. And please tell them to help us write a new chapter in our state's history by allowing us to reconfigure Twin River to better compete in this increasingly challenging market by supporting the table game referendum on November 6th. And finally, we hope you'll help us to create a whole new set of stories for future generations that are as compelling and meaningful as the ones we've shared with you today. From the personal stories, such as Tracy and Gary's, to the long-standing professional relationships with local companies like Dupuy Oil and McLaughlin and Moran, Twin River has touched the lives of countless Rhode Islanders, We hope with your support that tradition will continue, because at the end of the day, that's what this campaign is really about: bringing jobs to Rhode Islanders and securing the foundation for a brighter future. Thank you.
Thank you very much. These are indeed real people. Gary and Tracy are here to our left. Larry Ryan's up top. Joe, are you here? Joe, wicked good Joe. And we'll try this one time. Let's pretend we're in chairs. Norm walks in. What does everybody say? Norm, you now owe me. You're a superstar. Nonetheless, John is correct. It takes so many building blocks to put this all together. So pleased to make the next announcement. Our next speaker, Laurie White, is the president of the Greater Providence Chamber of Commerce, Rhode Island's oldest and largest economic development and business advocacy association. She has been president since October of 2005. The Greater Providence Chamber of Commerce is the principal voice of the statewide business community. Its mission is to foster the creation of a positive and productive business climate through economic development, business-to-business relationship building, and effective public policies in government. A significant portion of the Chamber's work over the last several years has been devoted to developing the state's knowledge economy by driving entrepreneurship. I can never pronounce that word. I don't know why they put it in a speech, Laurie. We'll have to have that discussion afterwards. Medical, academic, and industry collaboration, technology transfer, talent retention, competitive tax policy, and target industry identification. Leading that charge from day one has been the Chamber President, Laurie White. It's my great privilege to announce our next speaker. Laurie, the microphone is yours.
Thank you very much, Craig. I think startup activity might be easier to say than entrepreneurial activity, so we'll give you a pass. The Greater Providence Chamber of Commerce is extremely pleased and proud to be part of today's ceremony and festivities announcing the Bringing Jobs to Rhode Island campaign. And we are thrilled to be here today, standing with our colleagues in business and with our colleagues in the labor community. It's really great to have such a great crowd with us today to talk about job creation, to talk about job retention, to talk about economic growth and economic competitiveness. Those are the key issues that we need to focus on, and those are the issues that we need to drive over the next couple of months leading up to this referendum. Twin River, indeed, is a key economic engine for Rhode Island. And as John mentioned, it is the third largest revenue source for the state, and we need to protect that, and we need to grow the revenue stream. First and foremost, the addition of table games at Twin River will be a win for jobs, and we can all appreciate that message. In addition to protecting the existing 900 jobs at Twin River, it would create roughly 650 new and permanent jobs, and these are non-government jobs. These will include 350 new full-time equivalent jobs at Twin River and 300 new jobs created through vendors and supporting organizations and many members of the chamber statewide. So that's a very important component to consider. With the state's unemployment rate hovering around the second highest in the nation, it's critical, absolutely critical, to get Rhode Islanders working again. The creation and addition of new jobs today for our state is absolutely vital. It will also be a win for taxpayers. Table games will help preserve hundreds of millions of dollars in existing slot machine revenue for our state, and it will generate an estimated $16.2 million in new revenue. So that's another $16 million on top of the already significant revenue stream that roughly is about $270 million today. So we're talking about an infusion of new dollars into state coffers. And finally, it will be a win for local businesses, the local business communities, the local members of the chambers of commerce and the tourism organizations, and all the many businesses that we collectively represent through our various organizations. Table games will create an additional $60 million in economic activity each year for local businesses that supply goods and services to Twin River. All of these benefits will occur at no additional cost to the state, and this is important too, with no amending our state's constitution. During these very challenging economic times, it's absolutely critical that we support and that we protect our assets. There is strong support among the business community, among the labor community, among community leaders here today, because we recognize how very vital it is to approve the referendum on November 6th. So we appreciate the fact that so many wonderful people have turned out today, and it's great to hear the stories of Tracy and Gary and Norm and Joe and the many other small businesses that were represented. This is a very important issue for Rhode Island. This is one that the Greater Providence Chamber of Commerce takes very seriously, and we join you in working to support this referendum. Thank you very much to the folks at Twin River, and congratulations to John Taylor and the entire Twin River team for bringing these issues forward.
Either I have to squish down or raise the microphone. Feel free to talk amongst yourselves. Thank you. I am a tall man. You forgot good looking. I want to thank Laurie very much. She brings a tremendous and immense amount of credibility to her cause. She's thoughtful in her approach, innovative, and has really formed an outstanding organization, Laurie, that we're so thrilled to have your support, so thank you. If you notice behind us, the truck farm is growing. We now have McLaughlin and Moran, represented by Budweiser. Thank you, Terry. Our next speaker, George Nee. George has been a champion and leader of the Rhode Island labor movement for the past 35 years. Currently serves as president of the Rhode Island AFL-CIO. AFL-CIO, there's a hyphen in the middle of it. George joined the Rhode Island AFL-CIO as its executive director in 1983. He was elected secretary-treasurer in 1991 and president in 2009. In his current role as president, George is actively involved in economic development projects, serving on the Rhode Island Convention Center Authority, the Providence Performing Arts Center, known as PPAC, of course, the Human Resource Investment Council, and the Rhode Island Economic Development Corporation. He is also chairman of the board for the Institute for Labor Studies and Research and an executive board member of the United Way of Rhode Island. Please give us and George a very big round of applause and welcome to Mr. George Nee. Thank you, George.
Thank you, Craig. Thank you very much, Craig. Let me just start by, again, thanking everybody for taking their time to come here today to show your support for this very important initiative. And the first thing I'd ask you to do is look around at this beautiful scene, because this is what happens when business and labor work together. All these buildings have been built union. They've been, in many cases, they required the Providence Mall, the Westin, the Convention Center, required legislative activity to get them started. And business and labor worked together to make that happen, as we did recently with the expansion of the airport. This is no different. We have an issue coming before us in November where, when business and labor work together, we will prevail. We will win this. You will win this, because it's for you that this is happening. I want to recognize the leaders and the union members who work at Twin River. About 900 union members, as we heard John say, make their living out there and make a good living. Labor's 271, Teamsters 251, Unite Here 217, Plumbers and Pipe Fitters 51, IBEW 99, SEIU 334, and when we have entertainment out there, and I guess Craig is auditioning for something here today. the stagehands, Local 123. These men and women go to work every day at a facility in our state that provides good jobs. We're not here just for jobs. If we're going to do that, we go to a McDonald's rally. We are here for good jobs. Jobs that have good wages, good benefits, good retirement benefits, health insurance benefits, middle-class jobs. The jobs that are leaving our country, we can build and have them right here in Rhode Island. And you heard the stories of the individuals that John mentioned. There are opportunities here. People can go to work today and move up and get involved in other jobs because there's a career ladder possible also with Twin River. This is our time. We have an opportunity to get ahead and stay ahead. We have an opportunity to get ahead of our competitors in other states and build a first class and expand this into a first class facility where people by choice will continue to go there when there is competition, if there is competition. So it's really our responsibility as people who care about working people, who care about the middle class, who care about job creation, to do everything we can to fight for this referendum, not just statewide, but also in Lincoln. This is our chance to get ahead and stay ahead. We have a company, Twin River, that has been here, has expanded here. They're not asking for a tax subsidy. In fact, they're saying, if you support us, we'll provide you with more tax revenue. And not just the gambling revenue, but the income tax revenue from the 900 people that work there and hopefully the 300 more people that will go to work there. We don't have many opportunities where we have destiny in our own hands. This is our chance to show leadership. This is our chance to work all together with business, labor, and the community groups that have supported this great facility. This is our chance to go forward in the state of Rhode Island, and we need that. We got to get our spirit back. We got to get our pride back, and this is the opportunity to do it. So again, I'm honored to be part of this coalition. I'm honored to be here today on behalf of the brothers and sisters in the Rhode Island AFL-CIO. And I'd just like to add at the end that we had our executive board meeting 2 weeks ago at Twin River. Good place to have a meeting. Very good. Good food, great service, free parking. You got everything going for it. And we passed a resolution on behalf of the Rhode Island AFL-CIO Executive Board unanimously to support this campaign. We're committed to this. You have our full support, and we will win.
Round of applause for George Nee. I think the hardest part of today is following George on the microphone. Amazing job. How about a show of those signs? You guys are getting lazy. Come on. Nice job. Nice job. Our last speaker, John Gregory. John has spent 20 years as a leader in the Northern Rhode Island Chamber of Commerce, and he was a catalyst for forming a coalition of 5 chambers back in 2000. Today, that chamber coalition stands at a dozen. His incredible work culminated in being recognized with 4 of the possible 5-star accreditation by the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. How about a nice round of applause for Mr. John Gregory? Hope I got all of that right, John.
Thank you, Craig, and thank you, John, for inviting me here today. Hey, before I start, when I heard George Nee speaking, and I'll tell you something, when I'm sitting on a podium with George Nee, I know this is big stuff. So George and I go way, way back to the days of the Human Resource Investment Council. And one thing that business and labor have always gotten together on is jobs and job creation and sustaining. So look forward to working with you again, my friend. Greg mentioned that I'm the chair of the Twin River Advisory Board. In that capacity, I just want to take a minute to thank all the employees at Twin River. I mean, you talk about a group of people that have had their ups and downs. the euphoria of when BLB bought the facility and all the money that was pumped into it and things are looking great. And all of a sudden, working for a company where you're bankrupt and you're still got to show up for work every day. And if you haven't been to Twin River lately, everybody's smiling, everybody has a great attitude when it comes to customer service, and they truly, truly appreciate the fact that you're coming to their business. So how about a nice round of applause for the employees at Twin River? John's right, by the way, 5 million visitors. If you don't believe it, try to get a parking spot on a Friday night. There's a little bit of a challenge there. So I'm here this afternoon in two capacities. One as the chair of the Twin River Advisory Board, and the other as the president of the Northern Rhode Island Chamber of Commerce. And in my 20 years up there, a lot of times we've seen that our interests align, but this time I can't think of one that really has been so close to one particular, closely tied to one particular income. For Twin River to remain successful, to continue to be the economic engine it is for the state, my colleague Lori White did a great job in outlining the economic impact. We need table games. Every day, the folks who work there demonstrate their expertise and skill in allowing the property to post month-over-month growth. In fact, you may not know, but in the industry, nobody's doing well in the gaming industry, except for Twin River. 30 out of the 31 months, they've done better than the mega resorts in Connecticut while we're watching them struggle. Challenge is, without the proper tools to meet the onslaught of casinos that soon may be coming in from Massachusetts, we'll be hard-pressed to continue down this path of success. Table games are that necessary tool. From a Northern Rhode Island perspective, to thrive and grow from a business perspective, we need table games. Hundreds of residents from Northern Rhode Island rely on Twin River for well-paying jobs and benefits. John mentioned some of the local businesses in Northern Rhode Island who are vendors of Twin River. I think there's 156 total companies that Twin River works with. You know, and these are the folks who are going there. These are the folks who live in our community. And they go to restaurants, and they buy goods, and they own homes. And this is all great stuff because, as George said, we got to get the spirit back. It's been a long time since we had the spirit. And plus, we know that if the state's gaming consultant is to believe, we could see a lot of money go down the tubes if, in fact, we don't have the table games. So we need the table games. The fact that you're here today to show your support for this year's referendum tells me that you believe that as strongly as I do. So let's work together to bring the vision of a revitalized Twin River and Rhode Island economy to life. Thank you so much.
The odds of myself getting electrocuted, by the way, are pretty high with this little attempt. One thing I need to mention about John Gregory. John is a tireless supporter of Northern Rhode Island, the Northern Rhode Island Chamber, Twin River. He has been a business voice, a voice of support, of reason. He's been an advisor. He's been constantly supporting us through all the ups and the downs. And his dedication to the region and to his chamber was actually recently recognized at the annual meeting. And John, we tip our hat to you as well. That's the end of the speaking program. I'd like to thank George Nee, John Gregory, Laurie White, of course, John Taylor. But most of all, I'd like to thank you guys. This is the start. It's not the end. It's the start. We need your help. We need you to talk to your friends, talk to your neighbors, talk to your coworkers. We need you to vote. We need you to vote yes. How are you going to vote? Yes. Come on now, how are you going to vote? Yes. A little bit louder. How are you going to vote? Yes. Ah, you're voting twice, somebody said. I'll pretend I didn't hear that. There's a lot on the table for us, excuse the pun, and we need you to help us get out the vote. So one last time, nice show of the signs, the horns, the crowd. Let's hear it. Come on, keep it going. Come on, let's get up now. Everybody up. There's no sitting here. Everybody stands and claps. Let's go. We'd like to thank you all for coming out, for spending time with us today. Nice shout out to all our friends at Twin River, our co-workers, our union workers, people like Michael Sabatoni, Joe Barrows, who brought the crowd and helped us today, guys. We appreciate it. This is the start. It'll keep continuing on and on. We'll see you come November 6th. Thank you. And before I forget, you've been such a lovely audience. We have refreshments for you, and the band will be playing on.
Twin River is an economic engine for Rhode Island, and what we're talking about here in terms of passage of this referendum, it's about job creation, job preservation, economic growth, and economic competitiveness. And it's so important that we preserve the revenue stream that goes to the state of Rhode Island through Twin River and its associated businesses. Through the passage of this referendum, the revenue stream will grow to close to $300 million a year. We need to preserve the jobs, we need to expand the facility, we need to be competitive, and we need to put people back to work.
We currently have 900 employees at Twin River, mostly all of them union. And this referendum is critical to the preservation of our ability to be competitive in the marketplace, as well as the opportunity to create 350 jobs on property and another 300 jobs in the community. So this referendum is absolutely critical to the future of the property and the state of Rhode Island.
Well, certainly from a Northern Rhode Island perspective, we look at all the different vendors in the northern part of the state. As we talked about earlier today, people like Dupuy Oil, McLaughlin and Moran, the number of jobs, and it has that economic, I guess, the multiplier effect, you might say. As more people are employed in the northern part of the state, then we're going to see more people with disposable income in the northern part of the state. So we're in this along with our good friends from Labor, and we look forward to a successful referendum vote in the fall.
It's great to be here today here at Water Place Park, the finishing up of the rally to kick off the coalition to bring table games to Twin River. As you heard in some of the speeches, that facility employs about 900 people, of which most, if not all, of those jobs are union jobs. As business manager of Labor's Local Union 271, I represent close to 100 workers that work in the EVS department that clean and maintain the facility on a daily basis, which isn't easy when you hear the amount of foot traffic that goes through that facility. So we're here to reinvest in that facility and make sure that the voters in November understand what's at stake so that we can stay ahead of the curve and bring table games to Twin River and protect the asset and the revenue stream, the third largest revenue stream to the state of Rhode Island. So on behalf of my own Local 271 as business manager, and in my capacity as president of the Rhode Island Building and Construction Trades Council, representing 10,000 construction workers in and around the state of Rhode Island and 17 trade unions, we're in full support of this referendum, and with your help, hopefully it will pass. Thank you.
The Rhode Island AFL-CIO is very proud to be part of the coalition that is going to bring forward a victory in November on this ballot question, because we are concerned about jobs, not just any job, but good paying jobs, union jobs, jobs that have benefits to them, jobs where there's a chance for workers to advance. We have about 900 union members that work at Twin River, members of Labor's Local 271, Unite Here Local 217, Teamsters Local 251, SEIU 334, the Stagehands Local 123, the Plumbers and Pipe Fitters 51, and IBW 99. They're all people who go to work at this place every day. They've made a good living out of it, and we want to expand those jobs and protect these jobs and bring additional revenue into the state of Rhode Island. This is an opportunity for business and labor to work together and get the state going in the right directions, create some real positive spirit, and this is going to be the start of something that's going to turn this state around. Thank you.
Our rally today, it's about mass transit, it's about jobs, it's about our jobs, it's about the people we bring to work. It's about bringing attention and making the General Assembly aware that we need proper funding to maintain, if not improve, mass transit for the state of Rhode Island. Woo!
Clean toilets!
It's also about the people of Rhode Island, the residents and the people that use this system should have some dignity.
Yes.
To be able to, we have labor laws in this country because they had labor wars. This guy doesn't care. Our CEO, unfortunately, cares little about the people. He's not committed to Rhode Island. He's not committed to RIPTA, and he certainly ain't committed to us.
That's right. We
So
live here.
CEO must go! 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 Hey!
First of all, on behalf of the Rhode Island AFL-CIO Working Rhode Island, I want to thank you, because what you're doing here today is the right thing. You're sticking up for your rights. You're sticking up for respect and dignity. People think the labor movement is only about money and benefits. It's not. It's about having a voice on the job. It's about being treated with respect and dignity. Today, sending a message to the whole labor movement that when you get pushed around, we're going to push back. I want to thank leaders from all of the other unions that came here today, because the one thing that we have that they're never going to take away from us is solidarity. When one of our brothers and sisters has a problem, all of us are going to show up to make sure that the government officials, the public, the whole labor movement knows that we stick together. We're going to have a strong presence. I don't think it's any secret that we're still living under the legacy of the former governor who brought this guy in to bust this union. You know, look at the people he put on the board in the past. He was trying to break this union, and you're not going to be broken, because you can see by today that you have the one thing that they're never going to take away from us, which is our dignity, our courage, our respect, and our tradition to fight for justice. I want to thank Fuzzy and the other members of your leadership for taking this action. Too often, unions are silent when they're getting pushed around. We can't be silent. We're living in a very, very difficult time. And believe it or not, there are still some people in our community and in our government who do not believe that we even have the right to exist. We're going to show them that that's not true. Too many people have suffered. Too many people have struggled to make sure that we have a labor movement that treats people with respect and dignity and increases our standard of living. We're not going backwards, we're going forwards. Thank you for your leadership.
One more second. Before I have Senator Soli talk to the crowd, I like to do one quick chant here. All right? You ready? We're ready. Bring Sherry back.
Bring Sherry back! Bring Sherry back!
No
Bring Sherry back! No Sherry back! No Sherry back!
Thank you.
No Sherry back!
Bring Sherry back.
Bring Al Mascola back!
Careful what you wish for. But
At least we had clean toilets.
we had no problem. One more time, John. I want to thank Paul for setting this up, because this is a huge question mark that we need to bring forward to the governor. Right. Myself and Paul and a few other labor leaders have had meetings on top of meetings with the governor. And I hate to say it, but he doesn't get it. He doesn't get it, and we're going to continue to make sure that he gets it. So this guy gets on a bus and goes back to Savannah, Georgia.
They don't want him.
As I said on the radio, as I said in my press release, he has no commitment here to Rhode Island. He didn't even move his family here, so he's just trying to build his resume to go to the next spot. What I said to Paul was, all the pictures we should save, because once we kick his ass out of Rhode Island, we can make him take the pictures with him to his next job. So keep it up, keep it up. We're going to keep it up. We're not going to stop till he's gone.
Thank you. All right, everybody. Once again, I know some of you guys are on your lunch break, so thank you for coming out and supporting our cause. We're going to continue to walk. Grab your sign. Walk the line. Hi, my name's Paul Harrington. I'm the President Business Agent of the Amalgamated Transit Union, Local 618. We're out here rallying today for improved service, to be respected by our management, the CEO. Any questions?
Yes, sir. It seems to me like the issue of mass transit crosses a lot of other issues too, like protecting the environment. In a hard economy, people need mass transit service more. I was wondering if you could, comment on those aspects.
Mass transit is it's a service. It's not a luxury, it's a necessity. It should be accessible, dependable, reliable, and affordable.
So, specifically, what remedies do you see? What actions do you see that the State House could take and that the government could take to improve these situations?
It's up to the Governor of Rhode Island and the General Assembly to give us a revenue source that can maintain, if not improve, mass transit. It's going to have to come through legislation. Right now we are financed on a gas tax. It's a declining revenue source. We need to revamp how mass transit's financed and funded so it can always be maintained, if not improved.
You have an elite fleet that's left over from the last person who was running but from what I understand, they're neglecting the maintenance on it.
We've been very fortunate. Recently we got some brand new buses, I think 63 new hybrids, and those buses obviously are in great running condition. But we do have some of an aged fleet. We have incredible technicians and mechanical staff that maintain them. They keep them up and running so they can service Rhode Island well.
Yeah, go on.
I also like to introduce my Vice President, Tommy Q. Tom.
Hi, what are you out here for? What are the issues today?
Well, the issue is to get affordable, sustainable transit funding. We're also marching out here today for rights on the job. Under this new administration here at RIPTA, we've been subject to a lot of anti-labor, anti-union type tactics, replacing union jobs with non-union people, temporary people. And we're marching out here today to protest all those decisions that have been made by RIPTA management where we consider to be unfair to labor.
Now the public depends on mass transportation, especially in hard economic times. Do you think we need to expand the service?
Yes, absolutely. But we can't do that until we get sustainable funding from the state. RIPTA's been cutting service for the past 28 years on almost a biannual basis or a yearly basis in some cases, or raising fares. Our buses are at capacity. Our members of the Amalgamated Transit Union, we move Rhode Island. Paratransit, fixed route service, we move the citizens of Rhode Island. And one other important thing, bus riders are taxpayers. They put money into the economy when they go to retail centers, and they should not be left out because they are an important economic generator for the state.
Thank you very much.
I'm saying clean toilet.
Are you a bus driver?
Yes, I am.
Would you like to introduce yourself and make a statement? This is Labor Vision TV. I work for the Institute for Labor Studies and Research.
Yes, good afternoon. My name is Barbara Page, and I work for Rhode Island Public Transit. And I'm here supporting my union brothers and sisters because we need fair working conditions, clean toilets, clean buses. We need to have our employees rehired and our people brought back to work. Our working conditions are dropping. We need our people. I don't know.
Thank you very much, B.
Thank you. See you.
All right, George, what are we out here for? What's going on?
We're here today on behalf of the Rhode Island AFL-CIO and Working Rhode Island to support our brothers and sisters at Local 618 of the ATU, and also the laborers Local 808, who represents employees here. This is about respect. This is about dignity. This is about treating workers in the proper manner. This company CEO has not stepped up to the plate in terms of both the ridership and the employees. And this is a sign that the employees have had it with this guy. It's also an indication that it's not just about wages. It's not just about money for the labor movement. It's about workers having a voice on their jobs. It's about having an opportunity to voice your grievances publicly, and it's about being treated with respect and dignity. This gets down to the level of clean bathrooms for just the employees and the riders. Things that we really shouldn't be fighting for in the year 2012. Things that should be just automatic. But we're here today to show their support. We applaud the courage and the leadership of this union for taking this issue out to the public. And hopefully the political leaders of our state and the CEO of this company and the board will hear this message and start treating everybody in a different manner. So we'll be with them. This is what we do in the labor movement. When one member of our family has a fight, we all join in. So good luck to our members here. Sure.
It seems to me that mass transit sort of bridges a lot of issues. The environment, the environmental aspect. Yep. Also, in a bad economy, people need more access to mass transit. I was wondering if you could expand.
Well, I think as this issue has become more and more prominent, it's becoming eminently clear that the RIPTA bus service is critical to our economy. Thousands and thousands of people every day get to work through mass transit. And as the economy has changed in terms of gas prices, it's going to be even more important. And if we could expand the services of RIPTA out to some of the industrial parks, to some of the companies who have left the inner city and downtown areas, we could even provide more employment opportunities for people, because it's a real barrier sometimes for people to get to work by not having good RIPTA services. So in addition to making for a cleaner environment, making sure that people without the access to cars, with the cost of car insurance and everything else, have a way to get around and improve their quality of life. RIPTA is really critical to the fabric of a very progressive society.
Thank you for joining us for this edition of Labor Vision. We appreciate your input and encourage your comments. Labor Vision can be seen 3 times each week: Tuesdays at 7 p.m., Thursdays at 8 p.m., and Saturdays at 5 p.m.